Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Cousin
Connection
Podcast.
Why'd you say that so weird?
I don't know. You didn't even say podcast, but whatever.
I did say podcast.
No, you didn't.
Oh, okay. Start again. Go ahead.
Okay. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Cousin
Connection Podcast. Don't address it. Just keep going.
Okay, if you guys haven't already noticed, for those of you who are watching on YouTube, we have a special guest. So we want to introduce our special guest. He's actually going to kickstart our new series that we have on our channel, on our podcast. It's called the Spotlight Series, where we introduce special guests and we basically allow them to have a spotlight on them. We talk about what they're doing, their passions, their side projects, whatever we want to talk about, and just have a new voice on the podcast. So give it up for MK.
Woo.
We don't have a live studio audience yet.
We have one audience member today. Exactly. What are you talking about?
I can add it later.
We also have one.
So you can hear in the background there? Okay.
So, I guess we can just do a little bit of an intro of, how this thing came about.
Yeah, because I only know about one aspect of it. I need to know how this happened, how y'all met, all that info.
So, earlier this year, in the height of the pandemic, we weren't really going out. So there was this app called Clubhouse for iPhone users only. So that's why you don't know him.
Yeah.
And on Clubhouse, I actually met MK through mutual friends. And at the time he had a podcast. So I was like, ooh, this was right before we started our podcast. So I was like, just kind of asking him a bunch of questions. I checked that out, which, by the way, we're going to plug it right now. The Imbalanced Podcast. Melbourne's finest.
One half of the Imbalanced Podcast.
One half, yeah. The other half is still in Melbourne. So
apparently he's on hiatus right now.
No, they're canceled.
The final episode.
Just in case you get confused when you look it up on Spotify.
But so I checked out his podcast, or their podcast, and it was actually really good. I became a fan overnight. And I kind of knew deep down that one day I was going to force him to do a collab with me. So here we are. MK is in Toronto, and we're going to grill you, ask you a whole bunch of questions, pick your brain a bit. And and I've, of course, I've introduced Amir and him as well. So
I guess just introduce yourself, tell us your history, where you grew up, all that stuff.
Oh, I feel like I'm at a job interview. No, thanks for having me, guys.
Nope.
This was supposed to be an online thing. Remember when we discussed it?
Yeah.
We're gonna just do a Zoom thing. But now we're here in the flesh. My name is Mohamed. Everyone knows me as MK. And I'll answer that right now before I actually move.
He already knows we're about to ask him what does the K stand for?
So basically, my dad's name is Khalid. And I'm not sure. I'm from Sudan originally, so you get called by your father's name, you don't get called by your last name, right? So growing up was always Mohammed Khalid, right? So because there's so many Mohammeds anyway. So they differentiate you by your dad's name, right? And in Australia, growing up, one of my closest friends' name is Mohammed as well. Yeah. Right. So we always had to have differentiate between us.
I actually thought you were a Toronto man for the longest time.
Yo, I heard about that. I heard there's MK, SK, EK. I'm finding out all these things. Yeah. I'm just I might have to drop that, I don't know what's going on.
Nah, man. Stick with it. It makes you unique. Well, actually, it makes you less unique out here.
It's not unique
exactly,
now.
Exactly. Not unique. It was unique out there.
Australia is definitely unique because you say MK and there's not many. There could be one or two of us, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But you probably know both of them.
Yeah.
So did relocate from Australia. 2 weeks. I've been in Canada now.
You're still fresh off the plane, huh?
Absolutely, yeah. I think I'm still jet lagged, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, it's crazy, coming from far west.
Exactly. I was actually gonna ask that. So we're in the middle of a pandemic.
Yeah.
So what was it motivation to be you know what?
I want to pack up and leave.
Yeah, I'm gonna pack up and leave in the middle of a pandemic.
Yeah,
Nothing's certain.
To be honest, I've growing up, I was always between countries. You know, for maybe the first 12 years of my life, like we always just moved from one place to another. So I kind of had this thing since young that I hated that we had to move every single time.
Yeah,
because every time we settled somewhere, my parents would be like, okay, pack up, we're going, you know. So we just, you know, that kid in the movie that's like, I don't want to leave. That was me, you know. So like I hated it, right? Yeah. But then growing up, I really the value of travel and like living in these different places, I think it did so much for my personality and my character, and made it like I found that it was, out of all my friends, I found that I always found it easier to meet people and speak to people a lot more than most people in my circle. Yeah, like it made me very open. And in 2019, I went on a trip to Sudan. Not sure if you guys remember, but it was the height of revolution. Like,
yes. Wow, you went during that time?
Yeah, I'm a bit.
Was that like? Were you part of the like Peace Corps or something?
Yeah, then they needed me. They're like, yo, you know, come down, peace talks, you know. No. It's just what happened was my mum was going. All her siblings. Yeah, were coming down, right?
They just decided like the middle of a revolution.
Well, my uncle was already there. He was.
Did we already mention that your background is Sudanese?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. Okay, sorry, I missed that.
Yeah, so my uncle was already. He was living in Saudi. Yeah, he was actually stuck there for some time. And he stayed for a bit, and then his daughter was getting married, and he was the oldest. So my mum and my auntie who lives in New Jersey, he spoke to her, and he's like, I need you both to come. Like, I want to see everybody, you know? Yeah. And it took some convincing. And when the mom was leaving, my dad was like, I don't want her going by herself. So go.
You were nominated.
And I was just like, I'm like, nah, I can't afford to go right now. He's like, I will buy your ticket, go. And I'm just like, where's my bag? Let's go.
Listen, if someone offers you a ticket, you do not refuse.
So, and I was in between jobs because I had just sold my business at the time. So like I was like, you know, trying to just get myself together type thing, you know. And I went and I was there for a month, and that month like it changed my thinking so much. You know? I think the revolution was part of it. I think they because I went to Sudan every few years, always for a holiday. But that one particular trip, just seeing how things were, it kind of gave me a fresh perspective on life. And I'm just like, yo, I'm really like, I can do so much.
Yeah, like you realize like how much privilege you have from where you are, and like
I just felt like, and like I was off the back of a business that I just sold, so like I was already kind of like, I was just in that mode where like, all right, I need to like the next step, and boom, 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 you know, like I was just very like, I guess like just I had like tunnel vision to, like the next thing, and I'm just like, I need to kind of slow down a little bit, you know? And this idea that I need to travel, work in a different country, like came about, you know, and I'm just like, why don't I just try. Like live somewhere else, live on my own. I've always lived with my family,
right?
You know, and I'm like, I just really want to experience it. You know? And then I planned it for last year. Actually, I said to myself, because I came back from Sudan July 2019, August 2019. I said by June 2020, I'm gonna just work for this next year. I'm gonna save up as much as I can, and I'm out, right? But then COVID had other plans.
Did you know though? Like, did you know? Then that you wanted to come to Toronto?
No. Canada was not in my plans whatsoever. Whatsoever.
Okay.
And then I just you know, things changed obviously. Like I started looking at the options at the beginning of this year, maybe around February. Yeah. And I'm just like, all right, this thing is not ending anytime soon, and I can't just keep waiting. Because I waited like almost a year from the time that I originally planned to leave. Right. I started looking, and I found the reason why here was, I thought for a few reasons the transition would be easy one, because the country is similar to Australia in many respects, you know. Also, the visa process was super easy. Yeah. Like really easy. Like from the time I actually applied for my visa to the time I was here, it was under 2 months.
Really?
Yeah. When you like told me about it,
like I applied July 13th. I got my visa August 25th.
That is so.
I feel like
I was in Toronto 4th of September.
Do you know how he told me? He's like,
shoot. No, keep going.
How he told me, he was like, hey, so do you have room next week for another guest on your podcast? I'm like, are you here? He's like, yeah. What?
So I chose here, and I know some people here. And like Sarah said earlier, we met on Clubhouse, and you know, I met a few other people in Clubhouse, and you know, and it's it's just been like I've always been somebody who's I kind of dive headfirst into everything I do, and like I work out the details like later. You know? So even being here for 2 weeks now, I thought I was saying to you before in the car, like everyone sees how serious what I've just done is, except me. So I'm just
going with the flow.
I'm so chilled and relaxed about it. Like I'm gonna work it out. Type thing, you know.
That's good. That means you have confidence in your abilities to just
absolutely.
Take care
and
of things.
I just feel like, to be honest, like when I started thinking about this, I said to myself, what's the absolute worst thing that could happen to me, right? I'll get on a flight.
There's a lot.
Well, I can get on a flight and I'll go back to Australia.
Actually, we've been named like the safest city in the world a few times now. So I think...
No, I'm not talking in that aspect. But I'm just saying, like, I come here, like, for example, I don't find a job. I can't afford to live, whatever. Like, I just pack up and go back home. Like, that's really and I've tried it, I think, you know, but... That's not the plan, obviously. But but like when I thought about it, I'm like, worst case scenario, like I don't really have a lot to do. It's like I'm not married yet. I don't have a family. I don't have children. So like, I don't really have to look after anybody right now.
Yeah,
so if I want to do this, like now is the time to do it. Before, because then I can't drag a wife and children. Like, look, I want to go exploring. You know. So and that's why I'm here.
But like, sorry, did you have a question? No. Okay, so like. So we reached up to where you are now, but I feel like you skipped a lot of. You almost seem like you're a serial entrepreneur. Like you've done a lot already, and you're doing this on top of that.
I'm trying. I try. I did run a business.
What kind of business was this?
It was a cafe.
Okay, yeah.
So I had it for about just under 3 years. So I ran that.
Hold up, you're not even that old. How did you do all of this before 30? I'm amazed. Mashallah.
Well, you had the drive to come out here, you know.
Clearly, like.
I mean, like I started like my business when I was 25.
25.
Wow.
Okay, that's good.
For you.
25, yeah.
Or mashallah.
So, and before that, I was because I started working at Krispy Kreme donuts actually. When I was at uni, right? When I was like 20, you know. And I was with them for about 5 years. By the time I left them, I was running 3 different sites for them.
Oh, so you like worked your way up to manager already? Okay.
So like by the time I was 25, I was running 3 different sites, and they offered me like a pretty big role. Yeah. But I was already halfway through my business plan of how I wanted to do, and I wanted to just do my own thing. Yeah. You know? So I left and I started my business. I ran that for just under 3 years. Then I sold it after that. I do write as well.
I also heard about that too. Yeah.
So
you have a book out?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
And what's the name of the book?
Words.
Words?
That's what it's called.
It's a very clever title.
Okay. That's what it's called. Yeah.
It's called Words. Okay, and I just heard about it, so I haven't read it yet.
I'm gonna call my second one.
What?
More words.
No way, really?
I will. There you go. I released. I shouldn't have said that. Now everyone knows.
Is it what style is it? Like a story, or is it a poem?
It's poetry.
Okay, I see.
So I started. I started writing like when I was 19 maybe. 19, yeah. And it was funny because I started writing raps. You know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, no, but
so you're looking.
But it was a joke.
You're a rapper on the side.
You know, it was a joke. Like it was.
You really are a Toronto man. MK. You're gonna have sound
cards.
They can.
Oh my god.
So I started writing. It was a joke. It was me and 2 of my homeboys.
Yeah.
And it was my homeboy's girlfriend.
Yeah.
Her and her friend actually sang, and they were really good singers, right? So they were singing one to all. I asked them what they were singing, and then we were just like saying, "Nah, you're trash." Like, what are you doing, you know? And they're like, you know, we're gonna make a diss song about you guys, and that's literally how I started, right? So. We're sitting in my garage, and everyone was writing like their verse basically. You know?
Oh my god!
And when we finished, we were all looking at each other, and they both took mine, and they're like, "Yo, this is pretty good," like you know. And I'm just like, "Yo, we're capping. What do you mean it's good? I've never done this before." And they're like, "No, this is actually good," you know. And then I kind of like that instantly at that point. I fell in love with that process.
You were just motivated, like
because I hated writing when I was in school.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
Don't I hated reading when I was in school too, and now I can't.
I'm an avid reader as well now. Like I hated reading as well, you know. But when I started writing, I started reading a lot more.
Yeah.
So from then I kind of used it as an outlet, you know, just as expression, you know. I'm generally like I guess I'm very open with people.
Yeah.
But I'm also quite introverted, like when it comes to my own life type thing, you know. So.
And it's fine. You find it easier to kind of express yourself through some type of poetry, or
well, see, like when we're in Clubhouse, like with Sarah, or like, you know, like they would always say to me, "You're such a good deflector." Like, because I can get everybody to talk, but they can't really get too much out of me. You know? And it's not even an on purpose thing, but it's just naturally it's how I've been.
I can really relate to that because I'm a super reserved person too, so I don't really.
You know, so like I can talk to anybody, like it's cool, but like when it comes to my own thing, like I'm very, it's just my thing, you know, type thing. So,
but are you the type of person to be really interested in like learning about other people?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah,
100%. I love it, and like relationships are so important for me. Like meeting people. You know? Like today, like say, like we met on Clubhouse. You know, before I came here, I met up with one of, you know, another Clubhouse friend. You know, and like
isn't that so crazy?
It's crazy to
like
me,
I
right?
would have never thought that this was gonna happen.
It's crazy, right? So writing was like a thing that I just did over the years as like a form of expression. Another thing with the writing was, like I'm humbled, you know, that a lot of people come to me when they have, you know, like if they need advice or if they have issues, for example, just to kind of help them out. But, you know, all of that, when it comes to you, like you naturally, it builds up in you, right? Because you're thinking about everybody else's things as well, right? So I found a way to kind of like tell the pieces that are right. Like say you tell me a story or she tells me a story. Like I can like whatever she told me, I can turn it into like a piece type thing.
Oh, okay.
Right? So you find inspiration like
from other people as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you're not like limited to whatever you're feeling. No. You can kind of take someone else's.
Yeah, absolutely right.
Okay.
Yeah. So like there was a lot of like, and this was funny because there would be like pieces where like it would be like a sad piece, or it would be like a sweet piece. Like I'm like, oh, who is she? Or like, what's this? And I'm just like, if half of these things are not about me.
You know? And honestly, if you think about it, like the writing world in general, whether like especially in music, a lot of those people get their music written for them by other people who might not necessarily feel those things, but they're like, this works for this person, so I'm gonna write it for them in their perspective, like try and get in their head, that kind of thing. So it's probably something how
it
your
is. It's
mindset
exactly the same. It's exactly the same, because you like I write and then I. People always like, I can relate to this. I can relate to this. And
it's like, you were the inspiration.
You get one song that you really like, and you're like, I'm really feeling it.
Yeah.
And like that's the kind of approach that I went with. You know? And the book, when I decided that I was going to do it, because I had it in my head for maybe 2 years. And I said, I'm going to write a book one day, but I didn't think it was going to come this year. Right. But last year during, you know, like the lockdown, like I can't be like, I have to do things all the time. You know, I can't sit still.
Yeah, we're on the same wavelength in a lot of things like that.
So I have to be on. Like, you know, like if my brain's not on, I go crazy. So I had all this free time. Like I was working, and like I would finish work, and I'm just like, damn, like what am I gonna do with the rest of my day type thing, you know? My podcast was once a week. I'm just like, you know, I'm reading, I'm researching, you know, and I'm like, why don't I just do my book now? Like I have all this free time, why not type thing. And because I had so many pieces in the vault, like I didn't really have to. I had so much material.
You just had to kind of pick which ones you thought were best to put in there.
So I went through the process of picking it, and I went through the process of, you know, editing everything. And then I had no idea about publishing a book, nothing. So I spent a lot of time researching. Because I did it all myself. Like I didn't really go anywhere through it.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. So I found someone on Instagram. Her name is Sarah too. Actually, she did my design for me. You know, and she was super patient. Like because I was like really like picky about how I wanted it to be. It's a very simple cover. But I wanted the cover to actually tell you a story. You know. So I did the artwork for it. Did all the editing, and then I had to figure out how I'm gonna publish it. You know, and how I'm gonna distribute it, and how. And when I was doing all of this, I had no plan of actually selling it like that, right? So then I'm like, I'm gonna just print out about 50 copies, and I'm just gonna give it to people that I want to give it to, right?
You were just gonna give it away for free?
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
Honestly, you went the next level, because a lot of people these days who have an idea to do a book, the first that goes like to have it published online, and then they'll try and sell it like as a PDF or something like that. But the fact that you actually made like a physical copy means you're really serious about it.
No, I really wanted to. Like I and the thing is, because I don't like reading books in PDF. Like I like to hold the book.
Yeah,
and read
same,
it, you know?
same.
Yeah. It feels a lot more real. You know? So I did that, and then one of my friends, he said, "You're crazy. You're gonna do this for free." Because you really don't value your work like that. You know? And I'm just like, it's not about valuing, but I'm like, who's gonna buy a book of poetry? And he goes, trust me, people are going to buy your book of poetry. And I'm just like, no, we'll see, right? So I'm like, I'm still going to go with my idea, and I'm only going to get 50 copies. Right. So I order 50 copies, and I get them, and then I put it on my Instagram. I'm just like, yo, I have a book, like boom, boom, boom. If you're interested, like let me know.
Yeah.
And I promise, wallahi guys, I think in 6 hours I sold all of them.
See,
like, right?
Sometimes
and
you
I was
can't
just like,
underestimate.
I'm like,
mashallah.
what's going on? Like, how did this go so quickly, right?
Yeah.
And then I had people just, and then I sold the 50, and then like I had like a few people saying, hey, like, hey, can I, you know, do you have? And I'm just like, I haven't got any, but if you want, I'll get some more. Right?
Yeah.
So I had maybe another 8 or 9 people ask me if I could get it. I'm like, cool. So I'll probably just order another 20 copies or 30 copies, right? But what happened was, and this is something I like to do. Like when I do something, I like to do it really well. Like I don't like to half do it. So when I packaged it, I didn't just send it out. Yeah. Right. So I went out and I bought I bought like ribbons basically, and I printed like personal cards.
Okay.
That is so nice.
Oh, I guess because you have probably the name of the information of the person that.
Yeah. So like the card, I wrote like I wrote on the back of the card. Yeah. You know, like a little piece as well. Yeah. I did a number. Okay. Like, so a copy number.
So they know exactly which version they
got. Copy number. And I did like at the front of it, I wrote this copy belongs to, and then I put their name on it. Yeah. Right? So I did it that way.
So you made it very unique.
I packaged it, you know, and I sent it out. I sent it out to everyone. And what happened was, everyone started receiving their copies. Yeah. When everyone started receiving their copies, they were tagging me and I was reposting it. And then everybody was seeing the copies and they're like, I want one. And I ended up with selling like 400 copies.
Oh like, my God.
Granted, 100 of them were bought by one person, you know.
That's amazing.
But
was it your mom? Sorry? I was saying, was it your mom?
No. But someone bought it to donate it to a lot of people. So
okay, that's good.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So it was just, I was so blown away. Like, I went from like, I think I started working on it around May. I started working on it, and like it was out by like August, right? So a few months. Like it was good because I had everything ready. So just the editing that took a lot of time. Yeah. And it just kept going, and then that kind of opened the door for me to like you know, a few more things, you know. Yeah. And so then. The podcast I've been doing for 3 years. Almost next March will be 3 years.
Has it been 3 years?
Since I started, yeah.
Okay. Wow. Yeah. So did it start off bi-weekly at first?
We've always just done it once a week,
Once a week. And how many episodes? You guys are at 90 episodes
We're
at
90. We should really be over 100, but we had like a
That's
few...
what I was going to say. That doesn't add up.
No. We had a few times where like, we had a few like my co-host last year, his father passed away.
Okay.
So we had like a good 7 weeks where like, we just didn't do anything. And then just recently... he had something else to come up, so we had like another 5 weeks where we didn't record. So we had all these times where like you know, all in all, we're probably missing like 30-40 episodes that, you know, that could be we're way over 100 by now. But just life happens, you know. So like
it's true.
So
but I think that's one thing. Like a lot of times you underestimate the amount of people that are willing to support you. Because we had this similar like idea, like when we first started this podcast, I was like, okay, we're having like 5 people listen to us, like my mom, my sister, like that kind of thing.
I was like getting our parents to like subscribe.
Exactly. I was like, oh, we're gonna have like 4 people subscribe and everything. Yeah. And then like the first one we put out, I think we got like a bunch of plays on, like people just responding, following. I did not expect it, right? Yeah. And then like the next week, I was like, oh, it's gonna die off after this, like maybe a couple weeks. No, like consistently it started growing, and like the more we put into it, it started growing even more. So like it was surprising, and we probably shouldn't have been surprised, because you know all these people love you and they want to support you. Whatever you
don't know who's really messing with you.
Exactly.
Exactly. And I said this to you when you first. I'm like, look. Like the first week numbers are gonna shock you. Yeah. You know? And then she's like, oh my God, you're so right. Like and I'm just like, because trust me, when I put out my first episode, I was just like, wow, like how are this many people listening, you know? Yeah. And then 3 years in now, if we don't post 1 week, it's like, yo, where's the episode?
Yeah.
Like, you know? And I'm
that's
just
so
like,
funny that you say that.
You know?
Like because obviously like we do the podcast part-time because we also work full-time, right? So there are days sometimes where we don't get to post. Normally we post around like noon, between 12 and 2 p.m. Toronto time. So it's not like when we're like people in Australia, they usually listen to it Friday morning on their way to work. So if it's not up by a certain time, they're like, hello, where's this? Where's the episode? I'm like, I'm sorry.
And it's funny because when we took the big breaks, I had people actually just call and be like, hey, you guys okay? You know? And I'm just like, I'm not a big like Instagram poster. So like, I don't really post a lot on my page.
Exactly. Same.
So like, I would just like, I literally just post my podcast once a week, and
Yeah.
when it comes out, you know,
That's
That's
literally.
literally
you know? So like I don't be personal like that. So
Yeah.
like people were like, oh, and that's why like that hurt us social media wise, because
Yeah.
like we really neglect that page so much.
Well,
like,
the thing
you know?
is that I only realized it recently. I was talking to Sad about it. Is that because of how the algorithm works and everything, if you don't post regularly, it just pushes everything down. So when you do post something, it gives you like 10% of what you should be getting.
Yeah.
So, it definitely really hurts, and
Yeah,
I feel you
lot.
on that.
It hurts a lot. Like 'cause we got like over 2,000 followers on that page, you know, and I'm just like. And like when we post something, we get like 10 likes because nothing comes up on nobody's thing, you know? So
Exactly.
like, you know, it's crazy. But it really hurt us. But what helped us is that a lot of people are subscribed or like following us on Apple Music or Spotify. So
so
they get the notification, so it comes to them anyways. You know, people. But in terms of a growth aspect, we should be way more ahead of where we are right now.
Yeah.
You know, but it's cool. Like, you know.
No. You're right where you're destined to be, man. You never know what's gonna be next. It's like
I'm not tripping about it because like the podcast, I honestly like. I think if I took it a lot more serious than I do.
Yeah.
Because for me, it's all just jokes. Like, honestly, like, I just have a good time.
People can tell if you're being
to get away
not
with,
genuine.
you know? Yeah. You know, so it's quality for people.
Yeah.
But, like, for us, it's not that serious. Like, I didn't see it in a way where, like, I want to grow it and make it something huge and boom, boom, boom. Like, it's for me, it's just like, I just really enjoy doing this on the side.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah. You have to enjoy
wherever it goes type thing, it didn't really matter to me that much, right?
Yeah.
You know? So... That's why, but it opened a few doors for me. Like you know, I'm not gonna lie. Like
the podcast, even the podcast specifically opened doors for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you know he acts too?
You act too?
He's literally like a.
Is that what you're doing in the
not
city?
even a triple threat. He's like a quadruple threat.
Okay, now you're gonna tell me you sing too?
No.
Okay.
Not that. I tried, but
do TikTok dances.
That's why I stuck to podcasting. So I just didn't take it that I'm not taking it that serious. And I think if I did take it a bit more serious, you know, I think I'll take it somewhere really far.
Okay.
But I don't know. We'll see what happens. I think I'm just gonna have a lot more to offer with the podcast. Just living out of Australia now, like I can really just compare like life and
right.
You know.
You'll have like more material to work with.
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
Just in this last 2 weeks, like I just have so many ideas now. Like, because I've hit the ground running. Like I've just been doing so many things, and I've done it on my own. So like I didn't really wait for someone to kind of, like show me around or whatever. You know? Plus, you guys have like 3 lines here on the subway. So
I know it's really bad.
So easy. Like
easy.
Yeah, they don't have any public transit. I mean, they do. But
Okay, compared to that, yeah. I was gonna say like compared to other cities, we're still like kind of behind when it comes to public
ours
transit.
is so easy to follow.
Are we?
Oh, it's really easy to follow. I'm comparing it to Australia. Like,
okay.
If I go to like, did you ever go to Flinders station when you went there?
Is that like the main?
The big one in Melbourne, right?
Yeah, we didn't go
like,
inside,
like
but we saw
building.
the outside of it.
Like 17 platforms, like all these different lines. Like it's crazy. Like
really?
Yeah.
Oh,
like,
okay.
So the line here, is like easy. Like I literally like the first time I jumped on, I was by myself. Like
you weren't scared. I mean, I guess there's not really much to fear if you get lost. You speak English.
No, it's not really. Like I went. I remember that first day. I went to Freedom. And I went and got my phone.
Yeah.
My phone.
I was like, Freedom? What's that?
I literally went. I went there.
But I'm a Freedom user.
I got my phone line.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I just need internet and I'm going to be fine.
Yeah.
And I crossed the road. I went to CIBC. I did my bank account.
Yeah.
Wow. You did not waste any time.
No.
Yeah.
I was talking to you that day and I went to Service Canada to go do my social insurance number.
Yeah.
And I looked it up.
How'd you do that all in one day?
That's what I'm saying. Like, he's so productive.
You probably did it like, I guess you probably did it in like off hours. So
no, I left the house at like 9 or 10.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit later actually, maybe 10, 11. And I went, the phone took about 15-20 minutes.
Yeah.
Bank took the longest.
Really?
Really? Yeah. I thought Service Canada would take forever, bro.
That day, but I'll get to Service
Oh,
Canada.
okay, there you go.
I went to the bank and the guy I was dealing with, he was new.
Yeah.
So like it was just taking him time. So I was just chilling with him like at school. Just doing thing, you know.
So
like,
patient.
Yeah, that's cool. You know, I was there for like 2 hours, you know. Yeah. Funny story about that.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. What happened to Service Canada?
I'm talking. No, this is the bank.
The bank.
He set up my account and he's telling me about the fees, right? Plus, you guys have crazy fees here, you know. Like it's not like bank fees. Are ridiculous here. Like like I have 4 accounts in Australia.
Yeah,
and I don't pay fees on any of them.
Yeah.
What?
There are fees here. We pay like $30 a month if you're under a certain amount.
Yeah, it's crazy. And I'm just like, and he explained to me, he was like, oh well, you know, transaction fees. I'm like, transaction fees. You know,
it's all online, exactly.
You know, like, okay, fair enough, you know.
Yeah.
But then this lady there, and I think she's Somali. She came in and she was like, I think like a manager or something.
Yeah.
and she was training him, so she was in and out of the room. And she's like, "Oh well, Mohamed, because you're new to Canada, at CIBC, we give you the first year, no fees." And I'm just like, "Oh, thank you so much." Like,
bless you.
know?
Yeah.
I'm like, "Cool." But it was so funny because she walked out, and then this man said to me, he goes, "So yeah, because we value our members, we're gonna give you the first year for." I'm like, "No, you you don't value nothing. She just told me why." You know?
Oh my god.
So
You tried to take credit for that.
I finished it, and then I got on the train and I went to Service Canada.
Yeah.
And the line was long, because it was the Tuesday after the public holiday.
Yeah.
That's probably
so I was there
why.
for time, and then like the lady came out and she was like, "Hey guys, like it was 2 p.m.
Yeah.
and she said, I think you should come back tomorrow because the line is so long, and if you're not gonna make it by 4 o'clock."
Yeah, that's what I was wondering because I see those lines.
So I was just like, "All right, come." Like, you know, so I jumped back on the train, went home.
Yeah.
The next day I got up earlier.
Yeah.
I got there like maybe 10.
And there was probably still a long line.
There was still a line.
Yeah.
I still waited for 3 hours for a 10-minute.
Was that the day that I was talking to you?
Yeah, yeah.
And I was like, you should have went at 8 a.m.
Yeah.
Like, right when they open.
There are people lining up there at like 7 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just realized, I'm just like, but I'm like, look, to be honest, 3 hours. I need to get this done now.
Yeah.
I don't have to come back here again.
Right.
Yeah.
It's cool. Like I have the time now. So it was cool. So
Okay.
yeah. So I finished it all up. I did all that like in my first week.
Yeah.
You know, and then from there I've just been running around. Like I came here with the job offer already.
Exactly.
So it wasn't an issue in terms of work.
So you're just kind of waiting for it to start, essentially.
Yeah. There's that, and then I've applied for a few different positions. Like the job market's really open right now. So I've had like a lot of interviews already. Like I had 3 today.
Oh really? Oh,
Yeah.
like all
Sorry?
through camera, like all remote.
One was in person.
Oh really? They're doing in-person interviews. now?
Yeah.
I did
Even
one
at
in
our
person.
office, they're doing it
And
in
then
person.
2 were on the phone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was cool, you know, like you know, I had a pretty good, you know, run so far.
Okay.
So I'm just seeing what's gonna happen next.
Side note: did you hear back from?
No.
Numbers?
No.
Not yet.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. just-
Trying to have side combos on
Sorry,
camera and
guys.
stuff. Okay. So I kind of want to take it back to. I don't want to get too political, but I want to take it back to Australia a little bit because you were talking about like how COVID, you know, you had extra time and everything.
Yeah.
So like, I was listening to one of your podcasts and you guys talking about the recent lockdowns. So what's your opinion on the response that Australia had versus what the rest of the world like? Like I feel like Australia is on one extreme, Canada's like somewhere in the middle, and America's like on the other extreme.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what's your opinion on these different approaches to dealing with COVID?
Look, I think at the beginning it was good.
Yeah.
Like what they were doing.
Yeah.
But now it's just too long. Right. It's too
Like
long.
it's like, come on, guys.
Yeah, it's like too long, right?
Yeah.
Because like Australia is like they're very scared.
Yeah.
The politicians are very scared, right? And like a lot of people don't realize this. In Australia right now, it's not even a health thing. It's a politics game now because we do have an election coming up very soon.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So the world probably doesn't see that, right? But their approach it's very like nanny, you know.
They're
like,
being like better
stay
safe than
home,
sorry kind of thing.
like, you know, whatever, you know, they're dishing out so much money to people, you know, like in terms of like economic support, you know.
Yeah.
But I know 3 people that have lost their businesses in the last year.
That is
See?
so
You know?
sad.
So that's the sad thing, you know.
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah, I was lucky. Like my job, I worked for. I didn't feel it. Like
Yeah.
pandemic started. Here's your laptop.
Same.
Go home.
I got more
Right.
busy.
You know? Yeah.
Yeah.
I went home. They sent
Yeah.
me a desk. They sent me everything. You know. So
Yeah.
it wasn't really an issue for me. You know. So, but I know a lot of people who don't have jobs.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people. So that kind of thing, and like I think the mental health part of it really like affected people. You know, a lot. You know, because people are just stuck. You know, like it's been almost 2 years now in the same situation. Australia's approach was very, very hard because me leaving, like there was 6 people on my flight.
6 people?
6 people on my flight.
Because it's
Because you can't just leave. Like you have to apply for an
Yeah.
exemption to leave. So like my travel process, even my flight here.
Yeah.
Like the closer I got to Canada, the more normal life looked. Right?
Yeah.
Like because I got to Melbourne airport and there was my friend dropped me off. There was no one there. Stuff.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
So I go to the counter. You know, you go to the airport. Usually, you have to line up and you got
Yeah.
bags.
And was a lockdown in place when you were leaving, or was it
Yeah.
already out?
Yeah,
Okay.
it was a lockdown. Yeah.
It's still locked. Like,
Yeah.
There's still one, right?
There's still?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Melbourne's. This is Melbourne's 6th lockdown.
And like their
That's
case
crazy.
numbers aren't even
It's
that
not that
high,
big.
right?
It's not that. It's like now it's kind of gotten a bit higher.
Yeah.
But you know what it is though? Like they also their vaccinated population is not as high as it is here in the States.
So like has a vaccination
It's up now.
Oh, now?
It's up
Oh, it's
now.
up now?
So now like 70% of the country's got their first dose.
Mhm.
And
Oh,
like
okay.
40-something% have their second dose. So
Mhm.
they want to get it to 70% second dose, and then
Yeah.
they said after that they're gonna,
Open up everything.
up, yeah.
Yeah, because like
Yeah.
I feel like the real, at least my opinion on the response is like, it depends on how many people are in the hospitals. Because
Yeah.
really, the whole argument comes down to how overworked or how full are the hospitals. If the hospitals are full, okay, start like
Yeah.
locking things down,
So we
closing
didn't
it
have
down.
that, though. Like when this lockdown that happened,
Yeah.
we went into lockdown for 16 cases or something,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Which
Like it progressively grew now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like today they had 450 or something.
Oh,
Mhm.
wow.
Right.
That's
So,
a
like,
lot for
it
Melbourne.
and that's in the whole country or just in
That's
one state?
Melbourne. Right?
Oh,
That's a
Melbourne.
lot.
Okay.
But the funny part about it is like I was looking up the stats here,
Mhm.
and there was like over 500,000 cases, over the last whatever.
Yeah.
We haven't even hit 100,000 cases yet since the
Really?
pandemic started. Like all collectively.
So you actually don't know as many people who got it.
No.
You know what doesn't make sense? Your borders have been closed since this since the
You know,
Yeah.
it doesn't make
pandemic.
sense that as an Australian you can't just come in or go out.
Yeah,
Like-
you can't
like-
even leave states, right? Or
No,
like
like-
different
Yeah, so then
I-
where are the cases coming from?
because what they do is everyone that comes back is like you have to come back with an exemption,
Mhm.
Okay.
and then it's all like leaked from hotel quarantines. So
Yeah.
like usually people coming in,
Oh.
they come into the country
Mhm.
and then they get put in a hotel for 14 days
Yeah.
until the quarantine is over. Then they go out, right?
Yeah.
But sometimes those cases slip out, and when they slip out, one person passes to another, and
Yeah.
the rest is history. So that's
Yeah.
really how it's happening, because we're so remote. Like no one can just come into the country, So
Mhm.
and yeah, it was very harsh, but like you can't leave. You can't. There's so many people who've been trying to come home for a year,
Mhm.
and they can't come because then and the flights are so expensive to come.
Yeah.
home.
Mhm.
Like, do you know how much a ticket is from London to Melbourne?
No.
70,000.
Like 70?
Like 70.
Stop.
Yeah.
Is that even? You're
It might have gone
literally
down now,
chartering
but-
the whole
but
plane.
honestly,
Like,
but you know, because so many flights stopped coming.
Yeah.
Air Canada used to come Vancouver to Melbourne.
Yeah.
Right.
They haven't came for like a year or something, right? So like
Wow.
even me coming here, like
Mhm.
the ride that I had to take, I still came through Vancouver,
Yeah.
but I had to catch another airline, right? So like it was just rough. Like it's rough,
Yeah.
Like the country
Oh
is
my
good
God.
because people are being looked after. There's not many cases, not many deaths.
Yeah.
We haven't even had. I think we've had about 1,000 deaths since the pandemic started, like altogether.
Really?
Yeah,
That's nothing.
But, like-
I mean, it's still sad, of course.
It's very sad.
But think
yeah.
about
But
like
majority of them
Yeah.
were people who like in like their late 80s or like
Uh-huh.
whatever. So like I don't want to say it, but like
Exactly.
You've lived the
I know,
long life.
exactly.
Like,
But,
like it's
you have to think like, okay, so is it worth these thousands? Is it worth all these people who are losing these businesses, people's mental health being at stake? Because like after a while,
I don't agree with it. I think
Yeah.
I think it's too heavy-handed.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's too heavy-handed.
yeah, like I
because-
do believe in quarantining and like having certain restrictions, but to the level I actually remember in our first few episodes, I actually was not championing, but I was like saying that we should use the Australian model when it comes to
Yeah, I remember
lockdowns.
that.
But now that I'm realizing how like
Look, the thing
much
is,
of a
it was
negative
good.
effect.
It was
Yeah.
good at the beginning, but now it became like your dad saying, "Don't go out."
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
like don't do this. That
Yeah.
thing. So it's just like all our dads did it, but like at the end of the day, but it's just like it was within reason, right?
Yeah.
But it's just like if you tell me that it's crazy. Like no one's had it like us.
Yeah.
Like, I'm talking 5-kilometer radius. You can't be outside
Mhm.
of that.
Yeah.
From your, unless you're going to work, for example.
yeah,
You have to be home by 9 p.m. Like do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
curfew.
9 p.m.
Yeah, like, there's curfew. Like
even in the summer.
it doesn't really matter. Like
I guess you went through the winter, but
well,
still,
well,
yeah.
Still, but like
Mhm.
9, it was 8 before they gave
Yeah.
us an extra hour. Like,
Yeah.
like it's crazy, You have 5 reasons to leave your home.
Yeah.
Type thing. So you can't visit anybody. No one can. Like it's just so strict. Like,
Yeah.
there's just not much like to breathe.
It probably
you know?
destroys communities too, because like
No, absolutely.
especially we're part of the Harari community. I don't know how much has it affected the Harari community in Australia. Like I feel like they've been able to kind of work around it.
Yeah, like I mean, from what I know.
Not as much because I know a lot of.
Yeah,
Hadaris.
Oh, really?
also
Okay.
connected with them too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like I have a lot of Hadar friends. There.
Yeah.
And like it's funny because I moved like the neighborhood that I moved into
Yeah,
like during COVID.
Yeah.
I moved in May last year
Mhm.
just before things popped off like like crazy.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of Harris around that community.
Oh, okay.
And they were telling me like, yeah, you gotta come to the community center. Like we do all these events.
Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, yeah,
You
cool.
can pass for Harris. You're good.
But yeah, I'm just like, yeah, cool. But then I just like they did a few things over Zoom.
Yeah.
I saw, you know,
Yeah.
a few postings here and there.
Yeah.
But I know for the most part there was like a brand new community center that they just got.
Yeah.
I think, and like, I don't think they even got to use it properly. You know, so
They
like,
like
yeah.
might have used it like once or twice, but
Yeah.
everything else has pretty much been online.
That's sad, man.
Yeah, it's very sad.
Oh shoot! But like, what was I gonna say here? So, your background is Sudanese, and we're just talking about the Harari community. So, how close are you to the Sudanese community? Is there a Sudanese community there?
There is. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I am like I have like my closest friends are Sudanese. You know, like in Australia.
Yeah, because I know you moved around a lot.
The
So
exception. Yeah, I mean, I did move around a lot, but like growing up like there, you grow up with a lot of Somalis, a lot of Eritreans, a lot of like different nationalities. You know? So the Sudanese, we're not that big of a community there. Like we are now, but growing up we weren't. You know?
Yeah.
There wasn't much around.
yeah,
And I think with the Hadaris was very similar as well because the community is not that big.
Yeah,
I guess in
small.
Australia, because even the population of Australia in general is small.
Yeah, it's 25 mil the whole country.
Yeah.
You know?
The whole country?
Yeah.
Oh my god,
Mhm.
that's nothing.
You guys are like 39, relax.
In Toronto?
In Canada.
Oh,
Texas
just
has
kidding.
more people.
Yeah. Hold on.
What?
I just sounded really stupid.
What? Why? What did you
I
say?
literally just said
39
there's 39 million in Toronto.
What? Sarah?
What is it, like 4 million?
It's like
I think it's like
3.6
6 million. No,
6
4
it's not
million.
6.
4 million.
Yeah.
Is it 3?
I know. I think Ontario altogether has like 16 million or something
Yeah.
like that.
Remember when we had like 1/3 of the whole city in one place? What?
Yeah.
Whoa, really?
Oh, okay. But remember when we had like 1 million people when Toronto Raptors won
Oh yeah.
the championship? We literally had 1 million people downtown.
Wow.
It was bad to the point where like every side street was just full of people.
could've
Wait, did
been
you
wrong.
go downtown?
Huh? No, one of my coworkers went and she
Oh.
showed like the video.
Oh my god.
It was crazy.
That would
man.
have been wild.
That was a crazy
I
day.
watched it on TV.
Mhm. Pre-COVID. That was
Yeah.
literally like I guess
The year before.
was that a year before?
It was
Yeah,
in 2019.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I almost forget when COVID even started at this point.
It's
like,
it's been a blur to be honest.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
yeah, and
Honestly, watch in the history books
yeah,
in a few years. It'll be
Yeah, we're
like
living through
pre-COVID,
history.
mhm.
pre
We're
and
living
post.
through, yeah.
Yeah, and like I don't think it's gonna stop anytime soon. If that makes sense.
It's not gonna stop.
Like I feel like it's gonna they're gonna ease back like once
Yeah.
everybody is kind of because now they're sort of being like get vaccinated or you just won't be able to do anything. You know.
Yeah.
But once everybody's vaccinated, because you can still get sick and stuff, I feel like it'll be like the mask thing might not go away for another 2-3 years, maybe.
I don't mind that. I mean, kind of, but I
Really?
Yeah, because like now that I think about
Yeah.
it, if I'm like out in public, which isn't that often, but I'm
Mhm.
like, thank God these people have masks because like people used to breathe on you.
Well, like,
and
and
I think
yeah.
we're a lot more hip to a lot of things now that you weren't hip to before. Like
yeah, like
Mhm.
before I
just
was.
even just washing your hands. Or
Yeah.
whatever,
Yeah.
Like, there's so many things that you don't know.
I've never been a
I'm
germaphobe.
scared of that too.
Oh,
Yeah.
are
I'm
you?
scared of that because I just feel like being too clean,
Yeah.
right? You honestly can get, I think, a lot more sicker because like there's bacteria that's good for you. That
Yeah,
actually-
there
No,
are
no,
that
no.
goes on
Yeah,
your
of
skin.
course, of
Mhm.
course.
Because I know people in Sudan that just don't get sick.
Mhm.
They're just dirty, right? Like, but wallahi, I'm serious. Like
The bacteria is protecting them
for
from
real,
other
for real. Like,
bacteria.
it's just like the food was like the food in the Western world. Like even just going to the supermarket,
Yeah.
like things are clean. Like everything is so washed. by them.
Yeah.
Which is good. Like obviously you want it to be clean, you know.
Mhm.
But I just think there's some good bacteria like that. You know,
Mhm.
there's bacteria that you actually need to actually
Yeah.
up your immune system.
Because when you're killing the bacteria, I think they say it's like kills like 99.9%. You're killing also the good bacteria that
Yeah,
lives
yeah,
on
yeah.
your skin and all
Yeah.
that stuff too.
Yeah, so.
They didn't think about like
I don't
that.
want nobody breathing on me. Like, don't get me wrong, you know.
Yeah.
But like, I'm just saying, like, I think that whole culture of like, you know, wash all the time,
Mhm.
like, you know, all that. Like, it's sometimes I think one of any extremes is too bad. You know,
Yeah,
you don't
yeah,
want it.
yeah.
You kind of just want to be.
Yeah.
Because we've been living this whole time without it.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
We've
you-
been
You
fine.
get the cold here and there.
Yeah.
So it's, you know.
Mhm.
So I don't know. I'm a bit like thing on it.
Yeah,
but-
like
Mhm.
I think that for people who are germaphobes or just are naturally just more anxious people, this pandemic has like heightened all of that.
Mhm.
But if like for me personally, like I was never really a germaphobe. Like obviously I would wash my hands,
Mhm.
but I don't think I've ever washed them as much as I do now.
Yeah, we
Or
do it-
use hand
we do it
sanitizer.
5 times a day anyway. So
Yeah,
I
exactly.
know,
That's
which
all
is
good.
why like it didn't really feel like that much of it. Like the only
A
thing that I do
difference, yeah.
differently now is like if I'm driving and I come home,
Mm.
I've never washed my hands coming home from coming
Mm.
out. Like you know what I
Yeah.
mean? But now I'm like, let me wash my hands.
Yeah,
Just because.
I carry sanitizer around now. I'm
So do I, but.
Like, who knew?
Y'all carry sanitizer?
No.
I probably should. I don't as much as I should.
You don't? Do you have it in your car at least?
Yeah.
Okay, so then.
But like,
I don't. I try to carry it around.
Yeah.
You know? It works about 45% of the time.
Yeah.
You know? I don't have it right now. You know. But I try to. Like if I see it when I'm leaving the house, I'll take it. But if I
feel bad now because like I was at the store the other day and I met my friend there and like we were just he's like, okay, let's just shop around a bit and you can drive me home because he walked there.
Yeah.
And then at one point he's like, yo, you want some hand sanitizer? I was like, why? I don't need that. And he looked at me weird. I was like, oh, am I supposed to want this?
Do you like feel peer pressure though? Like,
no. That's why I said no. I was like, I'm fine.
Yeah, I'm cool.
No, but if someone offers me hand sanitizer, I feel like it's weird to say no.
It's almost like someone offering you gum, you know?
If you say no, it's like, oh,
you're like, oh, okay.
You
know,
pretentious.
It's even worse with hand sanitizer. It's like, oh, you like being dirty?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes, I always say even if my hands are clean.
No, I don't follow social pressures like you so
you
easily.
do.
I'm just saying. Oh my god. Yeah. Okay, so we're done with COVID. Yeah. I'm done with that now. Okay, let's go forward now. I went back. Yeah. Let's go forward. So you made the move out here, and but you're from what I could get from just listening to other podcasts, the podcasts you made. This is not your final goal. Like you have. No. This is just not a rest stop, a resting stop, but it's a pit stop essentially. Yeah. So, and you have like goals to go somewhere else. So like, I guess you like. So what motivated you to want to do the traveling thing? Like, where did that come from?
Yeah. So like I said, it all went back to my childhood as well as that trip to Sudan in 2019. That switched a lot of things in my head.
Yeah.
Know? And I just said like I could really do so much, but like I don't want to be like confined to just living in Australia. Great place, like don't get me wrong. Like, you know,
but you're not an island, so
you know, like I great. Like I did so much there, right?
Yeah.
But it just, I kind of felt a little bit stuck. You know, felt like I was just stagnant. You know, and like not much was happening. Like I was climbing the corporate ladder slowly, and you know, I had
living the dream.
I had a good job, and I got on the train in the morning, and I went to work, and I got my coffee, and I wore a shirt, and it was just
like if you wanted to, you could just keep doing this for the rest of your life.
They get me, and I'm just like I can do this when I'm 40, like you know, but I'm like 30 now, like you know, like I'm about to be 31, you know, and I'm just like, I want to have stories for my kids. Like honestly, that's like the bottom line for me. Yeah, I sit with my dad now, and he just has like stories for days because. He's traveled to over like 70 countries.
Wow.
He's worked in at least 15, 20 of those. You know? So like he just did so much, and now it's just like, it's funny. I said to him, I want to move to the Gulf. Yeah. And he goes, oh, let me call someone for you. Like it was just like that. You know? I get someone to get you a job. Yeah. And I'm just like, I'm moving to Canada. You know. And just like I know people in Canada, and it's just like, do you get me? And I just feel like if he hadn't done all these things, like in his younger days, like we wouldn't. You know, he wouldn't be in the position that he's in now, right?
He wouldn't be the person he is right now to pass on that type of knowledge
and
to
he
you.
influenced me a lot because my dad's he's a man of very few words. He doesn't really say too much. But like every now and then we'll catch him and he would tell us a cool story that happened. He's like, oh, back in 1980, whatever. And I'm just like, and we just be all, like, you know, just listening to him because he just tells you a story and he's just like, that's so cool, you know, like type thing. And I felt like, I want to have stories. I want to have stories. I want to experience, and I just don't want to have any regrets. Like my motto in life is fear over regret. Like you know, I'd rather be scared and like try something and just completely mess it up than just think in 5 years from now. Yeah. That when I'm driving home. And I'm just like, man, I should have moved to Canada when I said I was gonna do it. You know, like I don't want to have that on me.
Yeah, we literally had a podcast, like I think it was 2 podcasts ago, where we said that, like, just like if you have a thought, you have a goal that you want to do, like, and you don't have any responsibilities yet. When you say responsibility, like family, a wife, that kind of thing, just do it because you don't want to have that thought 10 years from now, exactly being like, you know, I should have done this. I have friends who are married now, who like tell me all the time that like, I really wish I did more. Like I wish I did more, and like they love their family life. They love having children, having a wife, like whatever the case may be. But they do because we're all in similar age groups. So like they're like, I should have just kind of waited a little bit, just so I can experience a little bit more. Because like now, although they love their families, it's just like halas, like you're in that thing now, and like your life is not about you anymore. It's about your children. And my dad said the same thing to me. He goes to me, my dad did his master's 2 years ago and is doing a PhD now, right? And when he did it, you know,
at 58, and I'm just like, why are you doing a master's now? And he goes, Mohammed, I wanted to do a master's since I finished uni, but I had you and your sister, and it wasn't about me anymore. But he's like, you guys are your own now. You can do whatever you need to do with your life. I can do what I want to do with my life. You know, type of thing. So it's just like, I don't want to have that in my mind that I could have done something and I didn't do it. You know, type of thing. And the other thing is, like, up until this point, I achieved almost every goal that I've set out for myself. You know, so it gave me a lot of confidence in myself that I'm like, well, if I could run a business, I can. If I could write a book, I can do this. If I can run this podcast for this long, I can do so. If I could, whatever, you know. So all of these things that like motivated me, because I'm just like, every time I dived in the deep end, like I got at good, you know. So it's just like, this is probably the biggest one out of all of them. You know, because
really big.
I literally left my whole life behind. Everyone I know, everything I know, and moved to a different country, you know. But I'm not scared. That's the funny part. Like, I just think I'm broken, to be honest. I don't know. Like,
it could be though. Like, you know? I think you might not have any fears because you haven't, like, have you had any failures?
Sorry?
Have you had any failures? Anything that you like?
Of course, yeah.
Because sometimes if things just keep going great, and trust me, mashallah, inshallah, it continues to go great. But I feel like there are some people who hold back because if they try something and they fail, and they try again, and then they fail, and they try something new.
I thought something when I was starting my business, it took me 1 year to open the business. Like, I just kept getting shut down after shut down. Like, I couldn't even find the place to lease, right? Because like, I had no businesses prior, and no landlord wanted to rent a place, to somebody who
a
didn't
25-year-old who
because
didn't
like,
experience,
well, how do I know you're gonna pay your rent, you know? And I'm like, please, I'm gonna pay it, like, you know. But that's not good enough for them, right? So like, we kept getting shut down, and then it took like 9 months to find the place, and then finally we got the place, and then getting the place, and then going through council took like another few months, you know, to get permission to actually operate, and then just rent it. Like, there was, from the point of deciding to the point of actually opening, it was like a year and a half, right? Like, and in between there was the planning and all of that. But it just, it took so much time, and like, I kept getting shut down. But I don't know how to stop. Like, when I can't, like, if I want something, like, I don't really care which way I have to go. Like, I have to get it. You know, type thing. You know,
it's like you kind of just like, no matter what gets in your path, whatever obstacle, you're gonna get over it to reach your goal.
Exactly right. And that's just how I've always done it. Like, you know, with everything, really. You know. So that's why, like, moving here, like, it's for a lot of people. Like, one of my boys was saying to me, he's like, "Yo, what you're doing?" He's like, I could never ever think about doing that. You know. And I'm just like, but why? He's just like, I don't know. He goes, he goes, you have something that I don't, and like, he's like,
because we get when we're growing up, a lot of us get preached like about stability, right? Like,
of course,
following that path that's a proven path essentially, right? And you try and veer off that path in any way, people are gonna try and knock back, be like, no, you're gonna fail, everything's gonna go bad.
That's a big thing. And like, I don't knock it if you believe that's what's good for you. Right. Like, if you actually think that you want to like pursue a career, just build yourself up, you know, live that kind of lifestyle, then you know, peace and power to you. Like, I don't find joy in like just being in the same spot for too long. Like, I need to actually learn something new. I need to talk to different people, build a network, like, you know, just understand how life is outside of like my circle.
That makes you more, people, you know, well-rounded too. I feel like I grew up really sheltered, and if I ever had the opportunity to, I mean, I'm saying this like, I can't just up and leave, but if I had the opportunity to go live somewhere else on my own, I'd say exactly what your friend said. Like, I don't think the thought of even doing that is so overwhelming because there's so much planning that goes into it. And what if I fail? What if I can't afford being out there on my own, because I've lived with my family my entire life. I don't know what it's like to be out on my own. So that's such a valuable.
And I never lived alone too. Like, this is literally my first time ever.
How's it going? Are you good?
I don't know. I'm pretty chill. Like, you know, the thing is, I have a thing where like, I don't really worry about what I can't control. And I'm just like, all right, cool. Like, I'm gonna go. I'll get a job. You know, I'll find a place to live. Like, these are all things that are manageable. Like, type thing. You know, but it's just like building from there is like how I'm gonna figure it out. And like, now I'm just at a space where I'm just like meeting people. Like, I just want to meet as many people as I can because I had such a big network at home. So many people that I've known for so long. Like that, you know, at the snap of a finger, I can get so many things done. I don't have that here, so that's like the challenge for me now. Like, to actually like meet different people. Like, you know, build a good relationship with them. You know, help them help me. You know? So it's just like, that's the exciting part of it for me now. Cause it's just like, now it's like, if I ever want to settle in Canada for the rest of my life, like I know that I built a network.
Yeah.
For example. Or like if I end up leaving and I want to come back at some point, like okay, Amir, I'm here. Like, you know, what are you doing, bro? Like, let's do something. Something, you know. Like, so it's like that. That's the kind of wave that I'm on. Like, I think having good relationships is probably one of the most valuable things that you can have. You know, and it just gets you so far. It gets you so far. You know, so. Yeah. So don't be afraid. I guess is a big thing. A big part of that is don't be afraid of failure. Don't let obstacles that get in your way. Just try. That's what I
stop you from
people.
going
just
for your
try.
goal. Exactly. Just
try
it.
And
you
start
never
small if you're scared.
Yeah. And thankfully, like we all have families that love us, and especially in our community, like they're always willing to support you.
Yeah.
Like if you do fail, if you're like find yourself like not $1 in your pocket anymore, there's someone's gonna be there to help you out. 100%. So the fact that we have that privilege, I think we should use it to kind of explore and be able to try new things and experience more things, so we can hopefully pass out on to the next generation like your father did. And he motivated you to kind of go out there and do your own thing. So it's really good. Like that was the last question I had personally.
I feel like I didn't ask you any questions because I've already done this. Like I've gotten to know him all those hours on Clubhouse where it's like 2 a.m. in our time. I'm like, so MK.
And hopefully your listeners learn.
I'll get a message like Clubhouse now, and I'm just like, okay, I'm coming, you know, and I'm just like, guys, I have a meeting. Send them.
R.I.P. R.I.P. to Clubhouse, guys.
I mean, it's still, you know, kind of.
We can bring it back, you know. Yeah, exactly. He does.
I turned my notifications off a long time ago.
So did I. So did I. Yeah.
Okay, so did you have anything else? Did you?
Do you guys want to go into another?
Yeah, I think we're at a good time.
Yeah, we are at a good time, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe we can do like a part 2.
Yeah.
We can do part 2 at some point too.
Okay. Do we have anything else? I don't know. Do you have any questions?
Oh yeah. Do you have any questions?
Well,
Do you have anything?
So much.
No, good.
Right. We were just doing like a straight interview.
I mean, it is
today.
a podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm cool.
You're good?
Cool. Yeah.
Okay. So.
Right. So thank you guys so much for listening. I hope
the cameras are still recording.
I think so. I hope so.
Okay, good. Hopefully.
Yeah. So I hope you guys have enjoyed getting to know MK. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
By the way, for gracing us with your presence.
I appreciate it.
I hope that, you know, his story was inspiring to you, because I feel like I want to go travel the world now. So I'm just going to go and pull up my Pinterest board, find all the places I want to go. But yeah, check out his podcast. It's called the Imbalanced Podcast. It's on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, pretty much anywhere.
Everywhere you can get your podcast,
Follow them on Instagram. Follow us on Instagram. Subscribe to our channel. You guys know the drill at this point.
Do the good stuff.
Exactly.
Do all the good stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, we'll see you guys next Thursday.
Bye.
Bye.